Today on the Meredith TV talk show, we are thrilled to have Angel Tucker, the personality speaker and the creator of the Glow Connection method. She has empowered thousands to connect, communicate, and thrive. Her energy and courage to shine through adversity inspire us all to glow brighter together.
I love it. We kind of got a theme going on here. We're shining, we're glowing.
I see you. Yes. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
It's a thrill, and especially as a speaker, to meet somebody who is so original. I think people at home would love to know what lights you up about your work.
Honestly, the emails I get afterwards where people say, I finally understand my spouse, or I finally understand, how to connect with this person that I've struggled with. We seem to, every time we're together and we try to talk, there's always this disconnect. And being able to overcome that is very empowering for many people. So getting those emails afterwards is amazing.
I have to say that results speak volumes. So there is no question that not only are you different in the market, it is rewarding. I would love to know how you came up with the Glow concept.
But me and Chatty, I call it Chatty, Chat GPT. I don't know how we ever had life before that, but just trying to write. I don't believe in death by PowerPoint, so I've always been very interactive, but it's just kind of leaning towards, them wanting more things that are experiential, and what can I do to level up and bring something in that's going to be something that helps people remember a very simple way of here's the steps you need to take to create true connection with people. And so just with brainstorming with that and thinking, what if I gave the audience glow sticks? How would that look? And can we use that as an acronym? And it just all came together so beautifully.
Would you mind sharing what GLOW stands for?
I would love to.
Yes, it's not something you hear every day, and I love that.
Correct. Yes. So the G stands for gain awareness, which is really just about observing the person who's in front of you to figure out what's their personality type and how do you need to adjust the way that you say things so that the message you want them to get is actually the message they get, right? We're all guilty of sending that text from our personality perspective, and then we're so surprised when someone gets a totally different message, right? And it's because we were not thinking about the person on the other side of the conversation. And so the G is just gaining that awareness. What are the signs that they're giving me? What do I look for in order to figure out what their dominant personality type is? And then after that, we need to lock on to what they need. We go into so many conversations thinking what we need instead of putting on the focus on the other person. And maybe what they need is the exact opposite of what we would want, right? And so it's reminding ourselves to lock on to what they need in order to move to the next step, which is operating accordingly. Taking those insights and then putting them into action. And that's where you go from observation to actually transitioning into what they need. And if you do those three things, then the W stands for win the connection.
And that's so important. Connection is currency, as they always say. But what does it mean to you?
It really is everything. People think when they're communicating that that's enough, but communicating, we do that all day long. I say the person taking your order in a drive-through communicates. When I email my child's teacher, I'm communicating. But connection is a totally different thing, and communication doesn't guarantee connection. And so you don't build trust unless you're actually making that connection. And so it's important to understand the difference between those two and to strive to actually use the GLOW method so that you walk away from interactions making a connection with people, because that's who they want to do business with, is people that they can build trust with. And trust doesn't come without connection.
I often say one of the greatest gifts a speaker can give is fun, because if you're teaching something and it isn't locked in, it makes it memorable. And I feel like glow sticks do that. What kind of reaction do people have from them?
100%. It's first of all, they want to play with them, so you have to give them a few seconds to get that out of their system, especially particular personalities that are like, oh, wait, you're going to hand me this and not let me have fun with it? I don't think so, right? So it's really a very welcome thing where people say, wow, because I believe when we laugh, we learn.
Yes.
Right? And so I don't want it to be talking at people. I want them to experience what it is. And it just invites them to do that in a way that they walk away and remember it. They're taking the glow stick with them, and it just reminds them to connect with people and not just say words to other people.
In addition to speaking, you also have a background in business too, like you in real estate, in fact.
Yes.
Working with thousands of people. So you know how to win sales.
Yes.
I'm curious, in life and when you're teaching, how does the GLOW method add into perhaps growing a business?
Yeah, that is a great question. I mean, you don't really grow a business long term without making genuine connections with people. And so my two specialties are sales and leadership, because both of those you need in order to grow a business, right? And if you want to be around in 10 years, it can't just be a one and done. I always say it's a lot easier for business to come to you through referrals because you connected with people and you built that trust and they sent you all their friends than it is to continue to go after new business. So it makes it a lot easier to grow your business and sustain it when you're using something like the GLOW connection method.
Well, I have to say, as a fellow speaker, I really admire originality, and you have that. And so many bookers that talk to us that, they're looking for something different. Mm-hmm. What do you think makes you, as the full package, so different? I personally think it's your creativity and your experience.
Yeah, and thank you for speaking to my experience. I've done over 500 presentations, so this isn't new to me. And I'm the only one in the world that uses the GLOW connection method because it's proprietary. And so I'm very proud of that I've created something not just, because I thought of it one day. It's based on personality intelligence. It's based on 30 years of studying people. And so, it has that solid foundation where when people are thinking, oh, am I safe bringing her in or not? That's not something that they have to worry about.
I love that. And also, I think meeting planners like people who are easy to work with.
Absolutely.
And I have to say, leading up to the show, you're such a joy. And I love your attention to detail. What would you want somebody to know before they book you?
Exactly what you just said. My goal is always to be the easiest speaker they've ever worked with. They have enough on their plate. They have a lot of hectic things that they're juggling. They have a lot of people that they have to please. And the last thing I want to be is a speaker diva. I want to be somebody that's there to support them. I want to be their eyes and ears on site, and let them know things that are going well, things maybe that they want to be aware of, things that I hear that I think are going to be beneficial to them. And I know they really appreciate that they kind of have, it's like a team. It's not just, like I said, a one and done. I want it to be a long-term relationship and connect with them as well.
I know that's the greatest compliment. And I'm sure you've experienced it walking off that stage and people are lining up because they want more. They'd like a 2.0, or they'd like to bring you back to their company because they've seen you at a conference. What do you hope is the gift that keeps giving about what you teach?
You know what? When I get these emails and see that people mend broken relationships, that they understand, oh, that's why my child does something this way, or that's why my spouse does something this way, or that's why that person left that was valuable to me, but I wasn't giving them what they need. I wasn't making them feel valued and appreciated, because that's the number one reason people leave a job. It has nothing to do with income or benefits. It's because they didn't feel valued, understood, and appreciated. And so, when I see that they can turn that around and kind of have that light bulb moment and avoid making those mistakes again, that's what keeps me getting on those planes.
Speaking of the planes, speaker life is not for the faint of heart.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
on the move, right? There's change all the time. And I have to say, you have to learn to practice what you preach. So when you look at your GLOW connection method, how does it serve you personally?
You know what? It's just a reminder that everyone is not me. Everybody doesn't think like me. They don't process information like me. And that's probably a good thing most of the time. And it really does give you a greater appreciation for people who are different from you, because every personality has natural strengths that they bring to the table. And so I love getting to go into companies and do kind of an evaluation of, what are the personality dynamics we have currently and where are we lacking, so that we can have all of those perspectives and all of those strengths working towards, that bigger goal. So it's always very rewarding when I get to go in and do something like that. So I definitely use it on those planes. And it's funny that people think our lives are so glamorous and we get to see all of these things.
They have no idea.
No idea.
I love that. And as we round out our time together, I would love to know, What is it about speaking that not only lights you up, but you hope people will always remember about you? Because as we said, there's so many other people out there, but I do think you're so special.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, my goal has always been to make a difference in people's lives and leave the campground better than I found it. So if I do those two things, then I can sleep well at night.
Yeah, and I think there are some people who don't understand what it means, and I'd love for you to go deeper on that about leaving the campground better than you found it.
Well, usually, when somebody's bringing in a speaker that speaks about the things that I do, it's not because everything's going well. It's usually because, there's issues, and those issues are very costly for those companies. It's very expensive for a company to have to hire someone and train them and then let them go and then have to start that process all over again. And so by bringing me in and understanding the ideas that I teach and implementing them. And that's what Glow does. It gives them the tool to implement it. It saves them so much hassle that, that's leaving the campground better than I found it. The problem, I've given them the tool to empower them to no longer experience that problem any longer.
Such great wisdom and such great messaging, and I think it's very inspirational, and it takes a lot of courage to do what we do. Do you feel that it's been a challenge through the years speaking, or a joy?
Every year is different, and the older I get, the longer those plane rides feel. But honestly, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Oh, I'm right there with you. In fact, it's my favorite thing to do in the world, which is why it's an honor to help share your story with everybody today. Thank you so much, Angel. And thank you for watching. If you'd like to book Angel for an upcoming speaking engagement, check out her information right there on the screen. You can contact her immediately. And I know you know somebody out there doing something amazing. Please, whatever you do, don't keep it to yourself. Take a little time and share the love. Reach out to us here at the Meredith Show staff. We'd be honored to share your story, and most importantly, find the courage to keep shining. Thanks so much, Angel.
You bet.
If you have an amazing story of courage, our producers at The Meredith Show would love to hear from you. Email us at hello@themeredithshow.com. And if you'd like even more stories of courage on your feed, be sure to subscribe to The Meredith Show on YouTube, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram under The Meredith Show.